Robservations with Robert, Meyer, Burnett.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and your late-night talk show favorite, Robert Meyer Burnett, here on episode 13 of The Midnighter. How are you all? My God, have y'all talked yourselves out about Loki yet? I know I certainly have. Az and I went at it on Hot Toys today. I thought we had a fairly productive, good conversation. Great geek conversations. I love that conversation we had today. It was great. It gave me it warmed my heart. So some interesting news dropped this afternoon. I'm sure people saw it. The poster for Jurassic World Dominion. They're going to drop an extended preview, an IMAX preview in front of IMAX screenings of Fast 9. It seems like they've been making this movie for like 3 years, and probably they have because of, course, the COVID pandemic. But I guess we're going to finally see some of it, and I thought that was a pretty interesting way to go. So why not discuss it? Because basically, I wanted to find more out about it. So I found this article on Deadline, and of course my glasses are a little foggy, so let me take care of that. 'Cause why not? And as you know, this show is all about you. So later on, I'm going to be dropping the number in the live chat. Well, not the number, the actual link that you can call in on the show tonight. And we've had some really great conversation. I've been very impressed with a lot of what people had to say. A lot of big brains out there, and I've quite enjoyed the conversation. So let's just get right into this article here that I found on Deadline, because I, too, want to know the deets about this. Jurassic World Dominion preview to drop exclusively on Fast 9 IMAX screens from our friend Anthony D'Alessandro. This dropped at 2:30 in the afternoon today. Universal is going old school in its push of Jurassic World Dominion, and for those interested in seeing a snippet of the latest installment, they'll have to head to an IMAX theater starting on the domestic opening weekend of Fast 9, June 25th, in more than 40 countries. This is how big movies were teased in the days before everything went viral on social. Warner Brothers has practiced a similar marketing tactic before the pandemic with the tease of Birds of Prey during the opening weekend of It Chapter 2 in 2019. Come on, Anthony, don't you remember when they released the IMAX scene from The Dark Knight, the bank heist, like almost a year before the movie came out? The 5-minute preview, shown in 190:1 IMAX aspect ratio, includes the prologue to the film's narrative, and it's set 65 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period, when dinosaurs roamed the entire Earth. Infused with Oscar winner Michael Giacchino's score, the clip will reveal what Earth looked like long before humans existed and tell the origin story of how dinosaur DNA first came to be carried by a mythic mosquito. Of note, 7 new species of dinosaurs created by Industrial Light and Magic are making their Jurassic debut. The Colin Trevorrow directed, EP'd, and co-wrote Dominion, which shot during the pandemic over in the UK. The pick opens on June 10th, 2022. As part of our celebration welcoming moviegoers back into theaters this summer, we couldn't think of a more perfect way to say thank you to the hundreds of millions of Jurassic and Fast fans around the world, said Jim Orr, president of domestic theatrical distribution for Universal Pictures. The first look at Jurassic World Dominion that Colin and his team put together is like nothing you've ever seen before. Even better, there's simply no more perfect place to experience both the Dominion preview and Fast 9 than on a massive IMAX screen. This really is the ultimate movie fan experience. It's too bad Fast 9 isn't better than it is. I can say that. I'm a big fan of the franchise, and this is the first film in the franchise that I actively despised, which is, I'm sorry to say. Ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to see dinosaurs in their natural habitat, Trevorrow says. It may have taken a few decades, but with a little help from ILM, Universal, and Amblin, it has finally happened. What, you didn't ever watch like Land of the Lost? This preview is just a glimpse of the film we've made. It's an epic celebration of everything Steven Spielberg and Michael Crichton created, and I can't wait to share it with the world next summer. The sequence was made to be seen on the biggest screen possible. Luckily, Imax theaters are back, and all over the world we're returning to theaters because movies bring us closer together. Trevorrow added, I think we need that shared experience right now, maybe even more than we ever have. At IMAX, we've missed audiences as much as they've missed seeing movies in our theaters, and this is the perfect welcome home present for everyone who loves movies, says Megan Colligan, president of IMAX Entertainment. We're always thrilled to show the world's most spectacular movies on the world's most spectacular screens and to help create moments and memories for audiences that last a lifetime. We're proud to join with Universal, Amblin, and the Jurassic World and F9 filmmakers in offering this unforgettable and unprecedented cinematic experience. Now, I would say to Universal, good on you, fellows, ladies and gents over there, because obviously the reviews for this film haven't been the best, and the precipitous drop in China probably gives everyone pause. I mean, will this be the Terminator 5 of the franchise? Look, it gives me no pleasure not to like this movie, to be honest. It really doesn't. I love these movies for what they are. And I thought Fast 9 went too far. Went too far. I know it's hard for me to justify that. Come on, Rob. How far could it go? Well, you'll all see. It's who's to say that don't listen to me. Go see the movie. Make up your own mind. I always think that's if you want to see a film, you should always make up your own mind. I think that's the way to go. Now, I want to remind everybody that we are going to have a members-only Zoom chat this Saturday. And also, this Saturday is the 12th of June. This Saturday is, in fact, the 40th anniversary of the release of Raiders of the Lost Ark, the actual 40th anniversary. We've now seen pictures of Harrison Ford playing Indy again on the set of Indy 5. And I'm going to have some special guests joining me on Saturday. So that's going to be fun. We're going to have the members Zoom chat. And those Zoom chats are great. But they're not going to be, this one's not going to be as long because I want to do the show at 2:30. It's going to be a 2-hour chat. And then I'll jump on at 2:30. And I've got my special guests to talk Raiders. So if you can become a member of the channel for at least $1 a month. That's just that. And that will get you into our members-only Zoom calls they've been great. I love seeing all of you. It's kind of like this show, getting able to see everybody is always a lot of fun. And also, as a little bit of business, tomorrow at 10 a.m., I am hosting and moderating a chat, a stand and deliver chat, a reunion. And we're going to be talking to Edward James Olmos and Lou Diamond Phillips about the Academy Award-nominated film Stand and Deliver, where Edward James Olmos played Jaime Escalante, a teacher that got kids to do calculus in the LA School District in East Los. And it's going to be great to have this conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun, and there's going to be other cast members there as well. So join us tomorrow on the Midnight's Edge channel at 10 a.m. for the Stand and Deliver reunion panel with Edward James Olmos and Lou Diamond Phillips. How cool is that? So, I guess, heck, why don't we get this shindig started, which should be a lot of fun. We'll see who's going to come on, man. I'm dropping it in. So you better have something to say. And remember, if you've been on the show a lot, maybe hang back a little bit and see who else comes on. If not, come on. Who am I to say no to you? That's what the Midnighter is all about. It's all about meeting your fellow imagination connoisseurs, your fellow listeners, and all of that. And we've got Andy is here. Andy from Argentina, and the Cinemike is joining us. I believe the Cinemike, you're in the Philippines, right? Oh, you can. Yes, Mike's in the we got the Philippines and We got the Philippines and oops, hang on, I didn't put them in yet. Let me bring him back. Let me put Andy and Cinemike in the chat. Boy, and once again, international in the house, which is exciting. So let me put the Cinemike in here. Hang on, Cinemike. I'll put you in coach, and we'll find out what's going on in the Philippines and in Argentina. Let's see. And now let me put you in, Andy. Get you in, doing a little production work live on the fly here. And I'm going to put both Andy and Cinemike in this is truly an international cast of characters we have going on here. So please welcome to the show. You know them, you love them. Cinemike, Andy in the middle, and Cinemike on the right from the Philippines. Gentlemen, welcome to the Midnighter. How are you both today?
Hi, Rob.
How are things?
I'm fine.
So
great.
So let's get first of all the quick COVID update. Cinemike,
Great.
what's going on there? Are theaters opening? Are you gonna be able to go see the Dominion preview? And do you have Imax theaters where you live? No, no IMAX theaters.
Yeah, there are IMAX theaters here, but there's here closed. Yes, there is, but cinemas here are still closed, unfortunately. So, yeah, we still watch like A Quiet Place Part 2 and other movies in the big screen, unfortunately.
No, that's too bad. What
Still
about you,
can't
Andy?
go.
Can you go see IMAX? Can you see movies in Argentina?
Yeah, well, actually, no. There's been, I think, 2 weeks during Godzilla premiere. There's been 2 weeks that the cinema were open here, and in those 2 weeks, I was able to go one time to the cinema before everything went to close again. But during those 2 weeks, I was able to go to Godzilla versus Kong, which was great. After maybe, I think, I don't know, a year and a half that I haven't go to the movies before that. And I went to go Godzilla versus Kong, and then everything went dark. Phase 1 again since then. So now everything is closed. We have one IMAX here in Argentina, which is not pretty far from my house, so that's great, but everything is closed, so I have to wait and be patient.
Wow. Well, that's a bummer. Let me ask you: Do you both have Disney Plus? And if so, did you watch Loki?
Yes and yes. I don't know, Cinemike.
Cinemike, did you see Loki?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, let me ask you, Andy. What did you think of the first episode of Loki?
I loved it. I actually loved it. I mean, I saw it, and I thought that it was so far. I think it's the best thing they've done with the series, and I loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Wanda and Vision. I love them. All right, those series were great for me, but this is incredible. I mean, they are going full on with this series. You know?
No, I agree. I mean, I think it's hugely ambitious, and it's been inspired by things like Terry Gilliam's Brazil, and obviously the comics. The fact that they're dealing with the Time Variance Authority at all is very incredible, and I'm really excited. I've heard the second episode's even better, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it does.
When they started with that Time Variant Authority and all that, I thought, how are going to explain all this? This is going to be too confusing, you know? And then they start one thing that I'm not going to say because I won't spoil anything for Cinemike, all right? But it was incredible because they actually pull off everything. It's like they are prepared for everything. It's incredible. It's like they have a crystal ball. I can understand. I can't understand how are they doing all this because Rob, that I'm not a full, comic book. I read everything kind of guy. I'm just, the first time I'm learning about this 10 variant thing, and even when I saw Loki the first time in 2011, it was the first time I ever heard of Loki. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like I've read this my whole life and all that shit. No, I'm the kind of guy who is learning as they are going. So this is incredible for me. I don't know if Cinemike is excited to see it when he has the chance and all that.
What about it, Mike? Are you looking forward to seeing more of the Marvel Universe shows?
Anything MCU, I always look forward to. And I mean, Loki is one of the characters in the MCU that has been prominent, and he has a great story arc throughout several films. Although the Loki that we will see here is very is after the 2012 Avengers type of Loki that we'll see, and I'm looking to forward to see what they will do, and also all the multiverse effect, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's
There's a lot
it's
that they can explore here.
it's going to be very interesting to see how it's going.
You know what I like about? I'm sorry. You know what I liked about the Loki character that they are doing all the way is the complexity. You know,
Oh
the
yeah,
complexity of the character. I mean, they are going deep into the character's psychology. They are trying to understand why he's the way he's. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but they are going to or they are trying to explain why he does the things he does, and it's not because of black and white, good, bad, evil versus no, there are more things here, and he has a lot of things to say that are very interesting. And again, the same way John Campia explained it with you early on, he has like a simple conversation in all this 100 million budget craziness they are doing. He has a simple $2 million budget conversation with Owen Wilson, and
right.
that's the most interesting thing of all the entire hour. That's the great thing, you know what I mean?
I agree.
That's a great thing.
It goes back to my. I always say that it's all character, character, character.
Yeah.
Concessions before credits sends in a super chat and says, "Hope your night is going well, Rob. Loved the first episode of Loki. The multiverse is going to be mad. It
Yeah.
is."
I don't
And
know how they're going to do things with Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness. I mean, for me, it's like it's madness already. How how much more madness are we going to get? It's like, are we going to be able to get everything? I think yes, because they can pull off everything. That's my
well,
reasoning.
I think we're actually getting a longer story within a story that started even in Spider-Man: Far From Home when we saw J. Jonah Jameson at
Right.
the end. I think that whatever's going on with because Spider-Man: Far From Home actually takes place after WandaVision. So WandaVision takes place 3 weeks after everybody returned from Thanos' snap, whereas Far From Home took place 3 months from that, and Winter Soldier took place somewhere in between. So I think
And
whatever's
Loki?
Loki, again, that's a great question. When does Loki? Well, what's really interesting about Loki is I would assume that Loki. I mean, obviously time passes differently, but whatever's going on is taking place in 2012 because Loki. I mean, it's the 2012 time period. So, what we're watching in Loki took place. I guess the Marvel Cinematic Universe is supposed to be 2023. So theoretically, unless I hear something different, Loki is taking place 11 years before 11 years before Endgame.
Now, without
Yeah.
spoilers, Loki's able to see a few things, Rob, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
The past after 2012, if you know what I mean.
I do.
So is it 2012 or is it maybe
Well,
2024, 2023?
no, because they know what's going to happen in the future too. So he was watching because they even say in the show,
No spoilers.
yeah, you won't say anything.
Cinematic.
Things that haven't happened yet. So they did
Right.
say these things haven't happened yet, and nor will they happen. And what I found really interesting, like a lot of people are talking about how time travel has been approached so far. They're using Endgame as an example, and people are trying to figure out how it all works. And I think they know what your questions are already. They're anticipating these things, and I think they've got answers for them. But I think that their approach is very unique, and it's going to be really interesting. I'm really interested to see where it goes. And
Do you think all the Spider-Mans are going to be together in one movie? I'm still hard trying to see that because everybody's waiting for that. So what's the surprise? Where's the surprise? Everybody's waiting for that.
I don't know.
Everybody.
What about you, Cinemike? Do you think that we're going to see multiple Spider-Men in Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yes, I
Yes.
do believe that it will happen, and I think what will happen is that they might feel the multiverse aspect of the third of No Way Home maybe in the first trailer. I think that is where they will reveal more of that. And there are rumors that Willem Dafoe
Right.
will be back, and I forgot who was in Spider-Man 3.
Green
But
Goblin.
and yeah, the past Spider-Man villains, the rumor
Well, we know that
they will be like
Alfred
the Sinister
Molina.
Six.
Yeah,
So
And Jamie Foxx
yeah,
are confirmed.
yeah, but he is. Yeah, we know that he confirmed, but there's still more secrets that they haven't revealed yet, but the wait will. I mean, it's just a few months left before we'll find out the truth.
Rob,
So
can I ask you
yeah.
something? Do you know anything about the first trailer of the new Spider-Man? Anything?
No, I don't know anything about it. I mean, people, there's rumors. It's like, oh, my friend works at a theater, and the theater got the trailer in. I'm like, yeah, where is it, bruh? But no, I
Right.
mean, yeah, it's like I don't know anything about the trailer. I can't wait to see it. I do think it's amazing that we've got Black Widow. Loki is going to play out through June, then Black Widow starts, and then
July.
we've got Shang-Chi coming in September. Then we've got the
Right.
Eternals in November, and then Spider-Man 3 in December.
Yeah.
I mean, and then
So Spider-Man is coming
Yeah.
later on. Oh, okay. Right.
but we've got 4 Marvel movies coming out
Yeah.
in 5 months.
But
Which
it
is,
was about time. I mean, a year and a half without.
Yeah. So the Shuri and Miss Marvel.
yeah, and Miss
the
Mar
show.
the TV we got Miss Marvel's going to be on, and
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's going to be on, and so is the What If animated series, I believe.
Right.
And also the What If. Yeah.
Yeah. How's the What If is going to come out?
Yeah.
I mean, with T'Challa's voice, with Chadwick Boseman that made his voice before passing.
Yeah, I think
Right?
they might have. I mean, it would be really
No, that's
interesting.
confirmed. I mean, there's a Black
Yeah.
Panther animated with T'Challa's voice. I don't remember what's the character of Chadwick Boseman because it's a what if, so it's a whatever. So I don't know. Black Panther, Captain America. I don't remember what's the what if
Yeah,
with Chadwick Boseman. Do you remember?
no,
you
but
know?
I think there's
I
gonna.
think.
Oh, go ahead, Cinemike.
Yeah, I think the episode is that if I'm not mistaken, like the What If with Chadwick will be T'Challa becoming Star Lord.
All
Like he
right.
became Star Lord
Oh,
instead.
Chad.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, that is what the
Oh, that'll be
story will
cool.
be about.
And in the credits, it is confirmed that Chadwick Boseman was able to finish, before unfortunately passing. So that's
able to
confirmed
record.
credits. So we will hear his voice. So that's exciting. I mean, we
That is
all want
exciting.
that.
No,
I believe.
absolutely. Anonymous sends in a tip and says, "Hi Rob, this is a little off topic, but since you mentioned Jurassic Park and dinosaurs and King Crimson, my God, King Crimson, that's a name you don't hear very often, does a tune 'I'm a Dinosaur' off Thrack. Does anyone in the Post-Geek Singularity know the Live Nation pre-sale code for the King Crimson concert in Cleveland on September 1st at Jacobs Pavilion?" That's pretty random. I don't know if anybody does know that pre-order code to buy King Crimson tickets. Wow, how old is the band? How old is King Crimson now? That is that band. Are all the members? I mean, wow, King Crimson. I wonder, does it still have the original lineup there? I mean, my God.
I don't know if Cine Mike knows who King Crimson is. Do you,
King
Cine
Crimson.
Mike?
King Crimson is a prog rock band formed in the late '60s, but they're awesome. I mean, and what I love about it is there's a guitarist named Robert Fripp in King Crimson who's done albums with David Sylvian, and I'm a huge David Sylvian fan. So I have some I've got some David Sylvian and Robert Fripp albums.
Many progressive metal bands have their gods in Yes and King Crimson. They are always reference them. I know that.
Absolutely.
That's what I know.
So what about Fast 9? Are you excited to see Fast 9?
Oh man, that's a garbage thing. I don't think that will be good. What about you, Cine Mike? Are you excited about Fast 9?
To be honest, I'm not really a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. It's just only because I can't take them seriously. Been ridiculous, and I'm more into, like, when it comes to action, I prefer like actual spies like James Bond or Mission Impossible. But I just find it ridiculous that the first Fast and Furious started with like a real, and then they became the superheroes of the world. Then they might go to space. Who knows?
You know what?
Next movie they will be in another.
You know what, Cine Mike? I mean,
so yeah.
In Fast, it was what was the one in Brazil? Fast 5? It was
and that movie was genius.
Fast
All right,
5,
Fast 5.
Yeah, I like that.
That was good, ridiculous. Good, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because it was a heist story.
Yeah, but after that,
No, they went too far. It's like bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Not everything bigger is better. You know what I mean? It's like in music, not always faster is better.
Invincible.
Oh, I agree. But Fast 5 was, I thought, a really great action movie. I really enjoyed it. It's my favorite of the franchise.
With the Rock coming for the first time, that was incredible. I love that. And after that, it wasn't that bad. The 6 and the 7 with Jason Statham. I love Jason Statham against The Rock, against Vin Diesel, against everybody. That's great, all right? But it's like they know what to do, but it's so ridiculous that you can even take it for the ridiculousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't even take it for that. It's too much. What are they going to do? They're going to build a car that is like the USS Enterprise now? I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure people have heard it, but they do go into space.
Well, yeah, but...
And it's utterly ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. I mean, it lost me.
It's like Tom Cruise is going to space for fucking real. So I will believe that. You know what I mean? He's going out there with Christopher McQuarrie, with a DP. Those three are going with Elon Musk, and I'm going to be really excited because they are going to be in space. But this thing is like CGI space, and anybody can do that with a couple $1 million. So what the fuck, man? Just get into the cars and the girls and all that. Stop doing all this shit. Nobody believes it. And it's starting to get it boring.
Well,
you know
I mean, Fast 9 is really, I really wanted it to be good, but it's not. And for me,
No,
I
it's
mean,
going to get boring.
I you know, Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi is he's more forgiving than the Emperor. Well, I was like Darth Vader. I'm less forgiving when it comes to, or more forgiving when it comes to Fast and the Furious movies. I'm the person that should love them, and this movie
Right.
this movie lost me. And if it lost me, one of your most vocal fans who's been calling for, and by the way, justice for Han was not done in this movie.
That's exactly what I was going to say, and not even that.
They retconned it. And it's terrible. I was so
Because
angry.
everything has an explanation, and
bad.
not all explanations are believable. You have to do good writing so something will be believable. It's not like we are waiting for James Bond believable. We know it's ridiculous. We already know that. But sometimes it's so far. So far. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know. So let me ask you this, Cinemike, of what's coming out until the end of the year. What are you looking forward to the most? We got 4 Marvel movies. We've got No Time to Die. We have Dune coming out. What are your favorites? What are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, there's a lot. Like you mentioned, those films. Besides the MCU, I'm also looking forward to No Time to Die because I mean I'm a James Bond fan and I want to see what Kerry Joji Fukunaga will do
Yes.
and how they end Daniel Craig's tenure as James Bond. And also, I'm also looking forward to movies like Dune and also West Side Story with
Me too.
Steven Spielberg because he's going to direct on musical for the first time in his career, and I want to see what he will do there. And then there's also the French Dispatch, and also Last Night in Soho.
They
There's
look
so
all of these
many,
movies
many,
they all look good.
I will also, yeah, and then of course there's Top Gun, Maverick,
Right.
and Suicide Squad, and yeah, there's so many for the rest of the year, and I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, I mean, I
Can
have
I
to
ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think the Suicide Squad is going to suffer because of the whole John Cena debacle about "I'm sorry, China, I'm sorry, China, I'm sorry"? Now John Cena is in the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad, they're not to fault for all this. That was a Fast 9 thing, but it's the same actor. And even they are trying to make a spin-off series with him. So do you think, Rob and Cinemike, that will be affected because of this?
I don't think so because he's part of an ensemble. I know with Fast 9, the Fast 9 they're putting him front and center, like he's their new big guest star because The Rock isn't in it. So they've made the storyline revolve around John Cena and Vin Diesel. But in the case of Suicide Squad, you got Idris Elba, you got Margot Robbie, there's so many other actors. I mean, come on, King Shark. There's a walking, talking shark in this movie.
With Sylvester Stallone.
And a giant kaiju. What I can't believe,
and Sylvester Stallone is voicing it.
it's just the greatest thing ever. And the fact that they're bringing Starro. When I was a kid, I loved Starro. I can't believe there's a movie with Starro, the Justice League villain Starro, which is literally a giant starfish. I cannot, and with the little things over there. I mean, I'm gonna lose my shit if I get to see somebody with the Starro on their face. I've wanted to see that shit since I was a little kid. I love Starro.
Do you know all the characters of
And only
of
James
Suicide
Gunn
Squad
can
and the
make
new Suicide
that
Squad,
happen.
Cinemike? Do you know all the characters, Cinemike?
I know some of them, but the other characters that they will introduce, I'm not really familiar. But I know of course Harley Quinn and King Shark. I know, but the others, like I'm not familiar with them. I'm excited
I
to
saw
see
King
them.
Shark in the Flash, and it was not that bad, but it's not the same here.
Yeah,
They're
no.
going to have like a million times budget to develop him. And Sylvester Stallone, Come on, bring it on, man.
I know. I'm totally. I can't wait. Well, listen.
And Sly already worked with James Gunn, so who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, gents. I'm gonna rotate you guys out and bring on some more people. I want to thank you for being here, Cinemike and Andy. Always good to see you. Remember, Andy is all the way down in Argentina, and Cinemike is in the Philippines. So don't say that we're not an international show. Gentlemen, it's always good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Great.
All right, thanks for being on.
Thank you.
And I will see you guys soon. And we'll have new people coming on. S Beam, our friend S Beam is in the house. And we'll get him on. And our friend Cash. Cash is also in the house. Two guys who are both on their phones, it looks like. But let's see what they have to say. S-Beam and Cash, just hold on a minute, and I'm going to put you in the show. It's just going to take me a minute to make sure your sound is down so I can't hear. We can't hear you because I can hear us. I can hear me. So, S-Beam, I'm putting S-Beam in the show, put you in coach. We lost you the other night, S-Beam, but hopefully we won't have lost you tonight. Let me put you in the show. And S-Beam is, of course, making a figure of me, as everyone should. Come on. And then our friend Cash. Cash, let me put you in the show, too. Oh, good. That worked out beautifully. All right, welcome. S-Beam is in the center, and Cash is on the right. Gentlemen, welcome to tonight's episode of The Midnighter. How are you both?
Decent enough.
Doing well.
Now, I ask you both, have you both had a chance to see Loki?
Yes.
S-Beam?
Yep.
All right, well,
I watched it tonight with my brother, yep.
I'm going to start with you. I'll start with you, Cash. What'd you think of Loki?
So I'm gonna put it this way: I was listening to you and Az talk about it during Hot Toys, and I agree with a lot of what both of you have said about it. I'm on the fence.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, like, I saw the woke stuff, but I also saw some of the hopeful stuff, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not gonna say any spoilers, obviously. But it's just one of those things. It's like I'm gonna wait it out and watch and see what happens.
Right.
I'm gonna give it a chance. But as I told you previously, like a month ago, the MCU is the last franchise I feel I have. So I'm just looking at with a ray of hope.
All right. You know what? I agree with you 100%. And I we'll see where it's going to go. Obviously, it's hugely ambitious what they're trying to do. So I'm like, all right, I'd rather see something with this kind of creativity, ambition. Now, S-Beam, I ask you the same question. What did you think?
I dug it. I dug it. I liked it a lot. The whole thing with the timeline explanation thing is pretty cool. What they did with this Loki character, hopefully it pans out to be pretty well for him and not, how it goes. I don't want to put any spoilers out there just yet, but give people time to see it. And yeah, it was good overall. I hope, like I was telling my brother earlier, I hope we see more of the acting chops of Wunmi Misaki.
Right.
She was really good in Lovecraft, and hopefully she's not just this kind of brutish guard or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll probably get more of them. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. Now, let me ask you this: are we going to see Kang the Conqueror in this show?
Nope. They're gonna save that for down the road if they ever do it.
Well, he's supposed to be in Quantumania, right?
Yeah, I've heard that he's supposed to be in Quantumania. Are they going to tease him? Because I'm all about Kang the Conqueror. I love Kang, but I
think they might. They're just like hints, maybe.
Because Kang is tied into the Time Variance Authority, so I'm looking forward. I mean, obviously he's another big bad in the Marvel comic universe who's fought the Avengers and he's come across a lot of people. But and they've already cast the actor who's going to play Kang, and I'm looking. Yeah, and
Majors, right? Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, I think it's Jonathan Majors. I think that that's going to be great. and I hope they deal with like his ancient Egyptian alter ego. I mean, I would love to see Kang the Conqueror and Apocalypse hook up in ancient Egypt. I mean,
That'd be
not
crazy.
not necessarily hook up, although
Yeah.
that could be interesting. But just like plot and plan. I mean, if Kang's traveling through time and Apocalypse is the world's, well, maybe he's not the first mutant anymore. Canonically, there's other mutants, but still, I mean, I would love to see that because it would be dope.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I love Age of Apocalypse. He's one of my favorites.
yeah.
I hate what they did with Oscar Isaac in that movie. It just didn't pay off. So I hope they do something with that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the first half of Apocalypse a lot, and then it didn't really go anywhere. And I really liked seeing his birth, sort of, going back all the way to Egypt and what he wanted to do. And I would like to have seen a lot more of him traveling around the world and seeing what the world had become, and have him be disappointed. The whole thing was that Apocalypse was testing humanity, and testing mutant kind and pitching people against other people because he wanted humanity to be better. And I wanted to see more of that. And I still think that they could do that. I don't know. The big question is still how are the X-Men going to be handled in the MCU? And I think it's a huge question. I mean, the Eternals, they've always been here, and we're going to find out more about them. And I don't see. It's funny. Everyone's like, "Well, why didn't they get involved during Thanos?" And I'm like, "Why should they have to? Like, maybe they weren't supposed to. Maybe it's like it's not really. We can help you people along, but this is your fight. We can't. There's nothing." And it's funny to me when Thanos shows up on Earth and snaps his finger. How the Avengers weren't talking to the Eternals. How are they supposed to know that? Maybe the Eternals can give us a hand. They don't know the Eternals are there. And this idea that Thanos was, when he came to Wakanda and attacked, that was what? It was a couple of hours? I mean, it was almost in real time. We watched in Infinity War when his forces showed up to attack Wakanda. We watched it happen like he was there for 20 minutes. 30 minutes and then snapped his fingers. It's not like the Eternals who are scattered all over the planet, apparently. It's not like they could be called and go, "Hey, perhaps we should join the fight." Nobody knows they're there. It's not like somebody's got a hotline. "Hello, Eternals. This is the Avengers. Can you come to New York and help us?" Like, I mean, why would you expect... And the Marvel universe, the comic universe, it's not like when Spider-Man has a problem, he's not calling the West Coast Avengers to fly across the country and help him out. It doesn't work that way. And but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. So let me ask you guys again. We've got 4 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies coming out in the next 5 months. We've got Black Widow, we've got Shang-Chi, we've got Eternals, and we've got Spider-Man. What is your level of expectation for all 4 of those movies? I'll start with you, Cash. What do you think? Uh-oh. I think Cash is frozen. But it's funny because his face is pensive. He's thinking, lost in thought. Well, I'll ask you, S, what is your level of excitement?
The excitement level's high. The expectations are like right in the middle. You know what I mean? I want to keep them sort of lower, but the excitement's high. I mean, I really want to see more of the Ten Ring stuff from Shang-Chi, and that's excited me since Iron Man 2 had Ten Ring stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait. And Tony Leung is
Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I love Tony Leung. I can't believe he's in the movie, and I guess he's Shang-Chi's dad. I can't wait. And I mean, I'm excited for all of these movies, actually. I mean, Black Widow looks really good. Spy thriller action. It looks exactly like what I want. And Shang-Chi, I want to see because I've loved the character since I was a kid. I read Master of Kung Fu, so I can't wait to see that. I'm really excited for the Eternals because I think it's going to surprise everybody. And I think people
I hope it does too.
I think people are like, "What?" Everyone's like, "What is this movie? I don't care about this movie." I'm like, "You guys don't know what you're going to get." I think you're going to get. Go ahead.
MCU's they're starting from scratch again, almost. Because they ended their stuff from before and with Endgame, and they gotta almost build it up again and
Yeah,
get our anticipation levels going again. Like keeping it fresh at the same time.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think that's what we're gonna see. I'm hoping. Concessions before credits sends in a super chat and says, if I can't get in tonight, let me know when I can book myself a spot in the Robservatory. Great guests tonight. Well, thank you, Concessions before credits. I mean, for me, it's a crapshoot. We lost Cash. I don't know. Sorry about that, Cash. I don't know why we lost you. I wanted to hear what you had to say. I don't know. Wow, wait a second. That's craziness. Let's see what happened here. I've lost you as well, and I don't know why. Why did I lose you? Oh, there we go. You're back. So let me put you back.
I was like, I can still hear you.
Yeah, you never left. You never left. We'll see if somebody is going to join us. I keep looking at your cases. I got some Maja cases. I haven't set them up yet. I can't wait to renovate my.
You got them in?
Collection. Yeah, I got 3 of them in. Hey, our friend Donnie, another Hot Toys collector. Our friend Donnie, with is that his bag of weed in the foreground with his lighter? I'm not sure, but we got Donnie, who is a great Hot Toy collector. I don't see Donnie. He's in Canada, but he's a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. What's up with that, Donnie? I don't know, Don. If you're not there, I can't put you in. Maybe he'll show up. Let's just see how long it takes him, and we'll see if Donnie actually decides to come in the show and grace us with his presence. So anyway, of all the movies, like, you're excited for all of them?
Yeah, for sure, all of them.
Well,
Shang-Chi first, and then definitely Eternals after that.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But why Shang-Chi first?
It just feels a lot more different than the rest of them.
Yeah, I know, and they've never done martial arts.
Yeah, martial arts would be awesome to see in the MCU. So
I can't wait, and the martial arts look really good. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Now, Donnie, if Donnie doesn't come back, I'm gonna let somebody else in because I feel there's people like Concessions before credits who want to get in, and Donnie.
He's probably like, crap, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I know. Well, Donnie, just so you know, it was good to have you, but you were here. You're no longer going to be here, which I apologize, Donnie. I'm a fan of yours, but we'll see if we're going to be joined by anyone else. And we are. Our friend Tim Possible is here again. All of our old friends. We'll bring Tim in to the show. Tim. Ooh, look at Tim is looking less Kylo Ren tonight. I don't know. I feel bad about that. I was hoping that Tim would be ready to school us all with lightsaber combat. Can you hear me, Tim? Are you good? I can. You sound great. I'm gonna bring you on to the show, Tim, and we're gonna ask you the same questions. We're talking a little Marvel movies, so. Please welcome Tim Possible, Kylo Ren himself on the right, S-Beam in the middle. Let me ask you, Tim, what's your anticipation like for the upcoming 4 Marvel movies through the end of the year?
To be honest, based on WandaVision, I am really interested in Doctor Strange. I really want to see what they're going to do. I really liked WandaVision because it had more of a nuance to it. It was something newer to the Marvel Cinematic Universe they haven't really done before. Captain America: Winter Soldier was a typical action movie, Marvel movie. That's what I feel like more of the mainstream audience enjoyed, the action-packed type stuff. But I feel like WandaVision was more of a deeper story, just like what Loki's doing. I actually think Loki's story is going to be the best. I absolutely loved that episode, but Doctor Strange... And then probably the Eternals trailer I did like. I'm not going to pretend I know the Eternals at all. I really don't. I didn't really know much about the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I did my research before I watched them, and I absolutely loved Guardians of the Galaxy. So now I'm looking forward to the Eternals and, well, really Spider-Man because they're bringing back Tobey Maguire, right? Is that
maybe we just? I mean, it's all speculation. I mean, I think. They've got Alfred Molina coming back. They've got Jamie Foxx coming back. which is crazy to me. How do you bring back villains without their component Spider-Mans?
Mm-hmm.
But all I know is
yeah.
I'm really looking forward in my new Module case to make a Spider-Man display. Oh, I can put all these Spider-Mans together, and it's all canonical.
dang.
So I'm very excited about that.
I want to get one for
That'd
the
be
Guardians.
awesome.
You want to? What's that?
I want to get one for the Guardians. For my
Yeah.
Guardian sets.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I can't wait.
So they were talking about bringing back Willem Dafoe, right?
Yeah, that's
Like as him, the main one.
I guess so. I mean, it's such a crazy idea. We don't have any confirmation. I think one of the reasons I would suspect that there's going to be maybe some information dropping in Loki, the series, about the multiverse that is going to be, once that information is out there, they're going to drop the Spider-Man trailer. That's what I think.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree, because if they're going to go that whole multiverse thing, I mean, they're getting really deep and sweaty, to kind of quote John Snepp or whatever, with this like universe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like they were addressing, I mean, they're world building right now, and they're kind of exploring newer territory as far as like the timeline being corrupted. I think the best thing about the Loki series was that Loki is a man of mischief, and he's always thinking one step ahead. Like how he stole like the neck thing, and how he stole that little time, like he stole like two different things, and then he's asking him questions. Who makes you boss? He's like, I'm a god. Like what? Like why does your opinion matter, and why doesn't mine, or whatever? I feel like that Asian dude, or the guy that he threatened to kill, I feel like he's integrated with the plot. I may be totally wrong, or whatever. I feel like the organization is semi-corrupt, and it'll later be exposed. But I really liked how it ended. I mean, it got like a bunch of like I feel like it did its job. Of course, like I feel like it's gonna explode later on, and people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I really love this series." But I know we like in this realm, we kind of like interact with different people in the fandom, and it was like some people were divisive about it or divisive about it, and I was like, well, I'll watch it and see what I think. And I did like it, and other people said they didn't feel the emotion. I was like, I felt the emotion of Loki when they went back those flashback scenes, because it was like you're really looking at the character breakdown of who he is. He's always living in the shadow of Thor, right? And his dad is Odin, the All-Father or whatever. And so he's always had like a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. And I feel like he's looked at himself and reflected on himself and saw what the path he was leading. It's not going to work out for him. So so he's positioned himself for like a change, and I'm really interested to see what they do like with him, because maybe this path is going to be more fulfillment, or it goes to an even darker side. I don't know. Like I know you guys not going into spoilers or anything, but the ending.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, no. But the ending really got me thinking, like, because if I'm not mistaken, that was Loki at the end. The other dude at the end.
I don't know. They certainly didn't show anybody's face.
No, they didn't.
And they make you look. Here's what I would like to see. A lot of people are talking about. So, if you reside in a universe like we do, let's say there is a multiverse, but while we're in this universe, we have no conception that there is a multiverse, that there's anything happening beyond the great cosmic infinitude that we exist in. And what I really liked about what they're doing with the addition of the time variance authority is that our universe exists as a closed system that also is part of a multiverse that also is made up of other closed systems. So there's no way anybody knows anything else about any other multiverses, because why would you? So if you're a god in this universe. You're not transcending the universes. So what I really liked about Loki was he discovers that everything he knew about existence is wrong. You know, that it's much grander and deeper than even he knows. And so what I'm hoping in the show is that this added knowledge makes him ultimately, I want him to become the way more dangerous than he ever was, because he's now in possession of knowledge that no one else in our universe, our Marvel Cinematic Universe, no one has that knowledge, with the possible exception of Doctor Strange and maybe the sorcerers. But even then, I only think that they're not seeing necessarily into the multiverse, not yet. And I think what's going to happen is again, we're all thinking, we're not thinking enough about what it's like to exist in a single universe. And I find it very interesting. I want them to restore Loki to bring him back. I mean, he's basically now a friend. He's now like your older or younger brother. I want to see them turn Loki into the most dangerous villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe again. They need to restore his luster, not be the bro to Thor. I want him to be mad, bad, and dangerous to know, and he's gonna be in possession of knowledge, because Loki's dead. The Loki in our universe is dead. And as we find out in this show, this Loki doesn't exist. He's been pulled out of time. And if they were to get rid of him entirely, wouldn't matter. He's now been removed from time. He's outside of time. So it'll be interesting to see how they utilize that. Because can they reinsert him into our timeline because he's already dead or not? I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Yeah.
And you made me think about something. Do you think Odin knew about this group, about the time variance?
I don't think anybody in our universe, I mean, other than the people that do, I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the gods, and I don't think, I mean, another thing that I think that has to be understood is that our universe, from its birth to its death, is again a closed system, because the people that exist in it, like Thanos, didn't know there was a multiverse. I mean, can you imagine if he did? His plans certainly would have changed. He would have to start thinking more than one universe, one universal dimension. Imagine, and then the Infinity Stones would only work in your universe. If you were to leave the universe, the Infinity Stones from your universe would be, as we know, powerless in any other universe or in any other timeline. They only exist in the universe that they're tied to. So that's...
no, I was going to say, someone brought up that argument, because I was kind of confused at first, and then now that you brought it up, it was because we saw that scene where they were in the drawer, right?
Well, don't try and be spoiler free, but yeah.
Wait a second. Should I spoiler or not? So I don't.
No, I mean that's a small, but yeah, they do. Because the thing is, I believe that where the time variance authority exists, it's outside of all universes, so none of those things work there. And none of them. That's why no one has power there, because everything that they have is tied to their universes, and the time variance authority is outside of each universe, so nothing works. So it doesn't matter. The Infinity Stones from any universe, they don't work.
Yeah.
Because you're outside.
I think I remember people were trying to, there's always that big question of Darkseid versus Thanos, and I've watched things break it down, and they say Darkseid would beat Thanos because the Power Stones would not work in Thanos in the Darkseid universe, because that's a different universe or whatever. So no, I get that, because it's wait a second, these time stones were super powerful and everyone's chasing them, like Loki. It was kind of the theme. He's chasing that stone, but he gets there and he realizes they're just paperweights. They use them as paperweights. So it kind of shows you that this universe has different laws, which is awesome. As far as the law of gravity too. If you look at it compared to Earth and the Moon in other places. It's different, and the climate's going to be different. Properties are going to be different in different areas. People's like skin tones and everyone else is going to adapt differently. Like look at Superman, the red sun. He's not as strong, but in the yellow sun, boom. So
what do you think, Est? What do you think? I mean, in terms of like, there's a lot of questions. People are trying to equate the time travel in Endgame, and they're like, but if this is true, then how come this is true? And how does this work? And does this not work? What they introduced in Loki, how do you feel? Do you feel it makes the Marvel Cinematic Universe more or less convoluted in terms of its time travel? Oh, did I lose you too? I think S-Beam is he's also frozen. Well, I just thought he was being pensive listening to us. Well,
so did I.
I was like, Donnie comes back. Is Donnie back? We'll see if he's back from. Oh, there's Donnie. Look at that. Donnie's rolling a fatty.
Oh, dang.
Donnie's got some dank nugs. Let's see. I figured you hang on. You can tell everybody that when I bring you on. Donnie is here, and Donnie is back from the can, as he says he was in the can. So Donnie, your camera's not somehow it's not focusing on you, but it's too bad because you've got what looks to be the dankest nugs that you are there. Let's bring Donnie in. Donnie's rolling a fatty there. So there you go, Donnie. And Donnie comes to us from Canada. So Donnie, have you seen? You're a Hot Toys collector. You're a big Marvel fan. Have you watched the first episode of Loki?
Yes, and I had the first Avengers Loki hot toy, and I sold it a few years ago.
I still have that hot toy, and I think I might. Although they're re-releasing it, a new, better version of it, but that first hot toy is really, really good.
Oh, it was awesome, but I just got it because it was a cool piece. But then with a lot of my other hot toys, I trimmed the fat. I realized I don't have a deep connection to certain figures, even though they're great looking. But like I had the DX Indiana Jones,
right?
Awesome figure, but wasn't a big piece of my heart. Is not knocking the movies or anything. Just it wasn't my Alien or Terminator,
right?
Kind of stuff.
Sure. And
I had Sarah Connor, and I sold her the other day from T2.
Wow, I wish I knew you were going to do that.
I
would have bought it.
And I have Ripley and Sarah Connor in two hands. It's like, who's more important? I'm like, Ripley all the way. So trimming it fat. So Sarah Connor, you can go.
So Connor,
like yeah.
Sarah Connor can go. So what did you think overall of Loki?
I liked it. I'm intrigued, and I can't wait for the second episode.
Yeah. And how did you feel about the whole idea of the Time Variance Authority and what they're doing with it?
It's cool, and I'm still trying to grasp it. It's like watching The Matrix for the first time. You don't quite get it. You got to watch it a few times. No, it's cool. And that whole I'm not a big Owen Wilson fan,
right?
But I liked him in this. I liked his character, and I liked the back and forth, like the sit down.
I liked how he challenged Loki. He just flat out said, "Why do you like killing people?"
Right, yeah. And then you always think like Loki is this, he's mischievous and he can get away with everything and he's a god, but it's like, well, not right now.
Nope, you can't do shit.
Like,
you're removed from your universe. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's like sit down. You're in timeout.
Right, right. Which I really liked. I thought that was really great.
And my favorite part was you see Loki be human when he's looking at that film reel of what his future is.
Yeah.
And you see him start to break down, which was really cool.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Well,
I
not
thought it was
cool,
great.
but yeah, you finally see Loki like actually have a heart, or he sympathetic, empathetic, or whatever the word is.
No, I completely agree. I think that's what makes the show good, and that's why I really liked it. There was a lot of there was an emotional wallop in that episode that I thought was earned. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. I really enjoy that. I really enjoyed that whole thing. I thought it was terrific. I really liked the episode a lot. I can't wait.
I think we are going to see Kang the Conqueror for sure. If I was, I'm not a gambler, but if I was, I would gamble.
Well,
say
I mean,
we are.
yeah, especially with what we're dealing with. We're dealing with already. We've gone to 15th century France in this episode, where he killed agents there, or somebody died, and we're traveling through time. And Kang is, of course, the ultimate time traveling Marvel villain that we haven't seen yet in the MCU. So I would assume that Kang is going to show up, and he's been involved with the TVA in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And so why wouldn't we? Although they might be saving him like from Quantum Mania, but why not introduce him here? It just seems like it's a natural thing to do, or at least mention him.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a tease of him. Like maybe not a full episode, but I think we're going to get a glimpse of him.
Yes, I think so too.
And I don't remember in the courtroom, the three. Sorry, what do you call the three?
The timekeepers.
Thank you, timekeepers. It feels like there was a little lookalike of Kang, the middle head.
That was interesting.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. I mean, who knows? I don't know. So you guys, let me ask you both, of all the four Marvel movies that are coming out, you've got Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man. What are the movies that you're most excited about for the rest of the year? I know that Tim, you were talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but that doesn't come out till 2022. So we got Black Widow, Shang-Chi, the Eternals, and Spider-Man. What are some of your hopes for these movies? Which ones are you looking forward to the most, and what do you think is going to happen?
Wait, does Venom come out this year or no?
Yes, Venom. There Will Be Carnage also comes out this year.
Right. Okay. So can we count that one?
I mean, you can count that one, but it's not in the MCU.
Okay.
Yet.
Right.
Yet. But I think it's going to be. I think those movies are going to be. We'll see.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the MCU part. I heard Marvel. I just didn't hear the MCU part. Okay. I'll say Venom anyways. I'm stoked for that, even though it's not MCU. But Black Widow, I'll watch it, but I could pass on it. Eternals, I could pass on it. Stoked for Spider-Man, and Shang-Chi, can't wait. Second, Spider-Man, can't wait, then Shang-Chi, and I could pass on Black Widow and Eternals.
I think Eternals is going to surprise everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my whole card. Eternals, I think people are going to be like, oh, okay.
I hope so. I hope to be wrong. I feel
like Eternals is going to be the next Guardians in the Galaxy. I feel like there's everyone is like, who cares about Guardians of the Galaxy? And I feel like it's just going to blow people's minds or whatever. Because they're like, there's something totally new, really, we haven't seen. It's getting like God tier now. It's getting like Dragon Ball Z type where Goku's going or whatever. But, I'm a martial artist person, and I really want to see what they do with Shang-Chi. I feel like if they really focus on it, if you watch The Raid or Ip Man or anything like that, I love Donnie Yen.
So do
I heard some new announcements about him. I don't know. He's supposed to be in some other movie, but within this verse, I don't know if this verse or some big mainstream market. But but Tobey Maguire has a special place in my heart as Spider-Man. He like when I saw him on screen, the upward side down kiss with him and Mary Jane, like the redhead, and I mean, oh my gosh, dude! Like when when it came out, Spider-Man 2 and even 1. Oh man, if they can, like, I don't know, Toby's part is probably going to be limited, of course, because it's not his movie; it's Tom Holland's movie. So,
I'll agree with Tim. Like, Tobey Maguire is the best representation to me with Peter Parker in the movies.
Yeah, because like I feel like it adds a level of gravitas.
Tom Holland is a pretty boy. They don't really represent that kind of, vulnerable nerd.
Yeah. And
when he has the suit on, he is like kind of comical, like Spidey is. But when he has the suit off, he's awkward, like kind of Peter Parker would be. So
yeah, it like when a character looks like the character, and it adds a whole nother level. Like Henry Cavill, when I see him on screen, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Superman. And I hear this Hans Zimmer score just rising up. Yeah, I get chills in my body or whatever. Sure, like if they have like, I'm not like against like, changing how the character looks if it works in that context. But when you watch something that you're predestined or grown up with, it adds another level. It just adds another level to it. But I know I got totally away from the question, but I think, to be honest, I think Eternals is going to be the best movie. Well, like Doctor Strange's not in the conversation, but I think Eternals is going to be the best movie. I think that movie's going to surprise everyone.
I do too.
So, yeah, because like you got star power, you got Ned Stark, or you got not Ned Stark, but
Rob
one
Stark,
of the Starks, and then
Jon Snow.
Yeah, nothing, Jon Snow, and then you got Angelina Jolie, and then like you got the not Kumar, the other dude that's really
Kumail
funny.
Nanjiani,
yeah. I mean, it's a good cast, and so I think it's going to surprise people. And I feel like what's going to help it is people's expectations going to be low, and then it's going to, when your expectations are low and it surpasses them, people are going to be like, "Dude, yes, right."
Dude, yes, I totally agree.
Yeah, brah, yes, for you, Rob.
So my question is, they didn't know what they were doing with Iron Man 1, what it was going to become, and how it built into a series with Endgame and all that. Now what do you think the next phase is going to build into? Is Eternals going to be part of this with like Galactus and everything?
Oh, yeah, look.
Shang-Chi involved. Like, what do you think are the puzzles to involve in this next galactic whatever war?
I think that's the biggest question, is that obviously phase 1 of Marvel was introducing these characters, and phase 2 they planted the seeds, and it grew, it sprouted, and phase 4 phase 3 was the culmination of all that. But it took them, 11 years, to do all that, and now we're in phase 4. The only phase 4 movie that we've had so far, well, we haven't. It's just been these shows, and the shows have taken place. Well, we don't know. I mean, Loki it begins in 2012 because they come and grab him, and so where it winds up, we know that Spider-Man Far From Home, really, it was the end of phase 3, but the beginning of phase 4 because it took place after the snap. It's when, but WandaVision takes place 3 weeks after people come back, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier takes place some months after that, and then Spider-Man Far From Home is like 8 months after people come back from the snap or something. So we're still we don't know. We don't know where we're left. I mean, I guess Black Widow takes place in between. It's set in the 5 years during the snap. So I have, to be honest, I have no idea where they're. I mean, obviously they've got to make more Avengers movies because they make a lot of money, and yet how do you deal with Thanos? How do you do once you've done that? Where do you go? I really don't know. Galactus, is that big enough? I don't know if Galactus is big enough. I think there's going to be something.
I think they can make him big. Well, no pun intended.
Right. I mean, but
It,
it's like they dealt with. I really don't know where they're going to go. I mean, I think that I don't. I really don't know where they're going to go. I don't have a sense of it. I mean, unless they bring in somebody like the Beyonder or something, which I think would be stupid. I never liked that character, the original Secret Wars, and especially Secret Wars 2. But, I mean, who knows? At this point, anything is possible. I think what they would do is they're going to change reality, kind of like a House of M situation, where maybe it's an alternate universe, but then again, that's kind of old hat. So why would they do that? Like, I don't really know. I mean, like the House of M storyline where they flipped the universe and mutants were the dominant power on Earth or something like that. But again, I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard to say.
I would think we're on pause maybe with building up to a new story chapter. I think we're just gonna get the remakes now. Now with Disney owning Fox, we're gonna get a new Fantastic Four. We'll get a new X-Men, Wolverine, whatever other characters that Fox owned. We're gonna get those movies.
Well,
maybe a Daredevil movie, maybe another Punisher movie.
Yeah, but I do think that they've already put in motion. There's a lot of big tumblers of the universe in place, like the Time Variance Authority. We know that with WandaVision, with Loki, with Spider-Man, and with Doctor Strange, the multiverse is becoming a huge deal, and that is going to have wide-reaching ramifications. But I just don't know what those are. I don't know where that's going to go.
It's like they're doing the in-between stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think what they're doing with Loki can last a lot longer than we think, because it's in a different timeline. It's in 2012, perceived, right, or whatever year. But the thing is, they could go separate routes with the multiverse thing. When you create the multiverse thing, you could have King Loki ruling the universe and like create a series on his battles and his struggles, but realizing I'm becoming Thanos. I don't know if I'm liking it or whatever, because when he had that discussion with the Owen Wilson character, wow, right? He didn't quite do those mannerisms. He was more serious, but like, I really appreciate him like in his role here. Like he said, like basically, he's questioned authority all of his life. It's like, what makes you right and what makes me wrong? And, I have my own take on things, and I don't believe people. He basically said something about like free will. He thinks that there should be more authoritative figure or whatever. So I feel like you could explore several different things in there. You could either take the route of Loki as being more similar to Thanos or whatever and explore his journey, or you could go to a more positive route. And then, like, as far as, like, I mean, I think you're, Donnie, I think you're right as far as, yeah, sure, they're going to reboot some things like Wolverine and that because Hugh Jackman retired. Sure, they're going to, re-explore those things. It's not necessarily a bad thing because everyone loves Wolverine. He's one of the most popular characters. And so I feel like Marvel does have a plan, especially with this new universe, and I'm interested to see where they go. So, Marvel, like the past 22 films, as far as build up to the, Endgame, it was definitely planned. I don't think they have one bad movie in the universe, to be honest.
No.
Maybe some movies are better than others.
I agree.
Like Winter Soldier is my favorite movie. Like as far as the MCU movie, Winter Soldier, I really like Infinity War. I mean, there's other highlights in there, but yeah.
Well, I think, if anything, if somebody were to ask me right now after watching the first episode of Loki, where do you think it's going to go? I would say, since we don't have the X-Men, what Loki is learning, and he's kind of been a constant in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is that what if there was, instead of an Age of Apocalypse, an Age of Loki? Where what Loki learns is that he's going to control the multiverse, and he flips the universe and makes it the way he wants it. Like Loki remakes the Marvel universe and shuffles the hierarchy of people around, so everything we know is swept away, and it's Loki's conception, kind of like an Age of Apocalypse when everybody's positions were flipped. And he could do something like that. So the big battle is how are we going to get the status quo back? How are we going to depose Loki now that he's become the most powerful? But then again, that could be old hat because maybe people are tired of Loki. Darth Plato says Doctor Doom, that's where the MCU should go next. But you know what my problem with Doctor Doom is
that's a good point.
Doctor Doom is great, but he's no Thanos. Doctor Doom is a threat for the Earth. But once you've gone cosmic, how do you make Doctor Doom a force to be reckoned with? You know, like after you have Thanos, it's like, okay, Doctor Doom's great and all, but how do you...
Speaking of cosmic, where's Silver Surfer? Like, when are we going to get a glimpse of him?
Well, because he's the Herald of Galactus, so...
No, I know, but I'm hoping for that. I hope that's the new chapter.
Well, I think they're going in that direction, too. I think we're going to get a lot of cosmicness happening.
But speaking of reboots, I totally forgot Mahershala Ali doing Blade. I can't wait.
Oh yeah,
and then they're going to open up the supernatural elements of the MCU. I mean, which is going to take us in a whole different direction. You know, where's that? And finally, maybe Mephisto will show up. You know, and then you've got the whole. We've got Morbius. You know, over on the in Sony is coming.
Yeah.
So which is another movie that's coming out this year. Or maybe it was pushed into 2022. I'm not sure. But Morbius, I mean, isn't it crazy? You've got Morbius, the living vampire, and we've got Carnage and Venom coming. I mean, it's just nuts.
And I'll say this as a comic guy. I like my heroes to be kind of normal dudes, not with, or women, with not major powers, you know?
Right.
You know, I like my Batman. I like Punisher. I like Daredevil. Daredevil is one of my favorites. A blind dude, and he's a lawyer fighting justice. And like, it makes you think. You look at you like, what's your excuse, man? You know, I feel you know, he's more inspiring to me than Spider-Man is. But
no, I can see that. I understand that.
And I feel if Daredevil had the Rose Gallery like Spider-Man did, I think Daredevil would just be as much loved or appreciated.
Yeah, it just Daredevil was always more of a darker figure, whereas the thing about Peter Parker is we are all Peter Parker. You know, all of us could have been bitten by a radioactive spider. Well, listen, gentlemen, I want to thank you for being on the show tonight. I am going to see if anybody else wants to come in. This has been a great show. Thank you you guys had a lot of great things to say about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I very much appreciate it. Always good to see you both. Good to see you, Tim, and good to see you, Donnie. So thank you for being here. It was great to have Tim and Donnie back, which is awesome. Yes, sir. I'm still here. I can still hear you. Oh, yeah, we'll have to do that later. Only because I'm live, but I can still hear you. But let's talk offline sometime. I did not know that. That's cool. Yeah. Can we talk about this? No, but I was gonna say, can we talk about this live? Would you say this publicly? Okay, I think this is really interesting. I don't want to pressure you, but I think this is interesting because I had no idea about this, and I would love to. I would love to bring you on to talk because I think this is something that's worth discussing. And I'm gonna bring Donnie back on because I definitely think that this is something that is absolutely worth discussing on the show. And as long as Donnie, you feel comfortable about this, because I think this is an interesting thing that I think people are going to find this fascinating. So Donnie, I'm bringing you back on to the show. I'm switching. So Donnie, And we know you, we love you, we've come to get to know you on the show, but there are things about you I didn't know. I mean, call me crazy. I just, I don't know why I would know this, but tell me what you just told. Tell everybody what you just told me.
So I'm a little person. I'm a chondroplegic. I'm I look like Peter Dinklage, but probably about 8 more inches on him. And girth-wise, I don't know down there. Maybe he's probably better hung. But and a fatter wallet.
Well, I have to say,
You got the 3-0 Peter Dinklage?
I have 2 of them. I have the 7th season one, and Elizabeth has the 3rd season one.
So
And
if I was a figure, that would be me.
I would own it. I would own it. I mean, even though I have to say, I think they did Tyrion. Why'd they have to make him dumb? Like, why couldn't he have been smarter? He luckily he prevails, but I'm a fan. So
right. So basically, yeah, when we were when I was off camera talking to Rob, I was just basically telling him so I'm 30 years old. My pops passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all good, thank you. And before, like, even when I was young, 5, even from the age of 5 till teenage years, he always told me to get into film, get into, like, not be an elf in a Christmas ad or whatever.
Right.
But be like Warwick Davis, or the guy that was in the R2D2 suit, and I feel bad for the gentleman from the
Kenny
UK.
Baker.
Thank you, from the UK, right? And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I just passed, all right, Dad, cool, whatever. And he was right, and I feel like I should, not to be famous, I don't want to be Peter Dinklage. I just want to be doing in costume or something on film.
Sure.
Right? Like, I'm not, asking to be, Peter Dinklage.
No, but I think that there's more opportunities now. One of the things, like, I remember seeing The Station Agent, which was, I think, the first time.
Seen that. Great.
Yeah,
and I've lived through shit like that.
Yeah, that was a great film, and that was the first time that Peter Dinklage. This is pre-Game Game of Thrones, and I thought he was terrific. And what I really love about Peter Dinklage is he has, in Game of Thrones he had an honor, even though he's a drinking and whoring rich kid in that show. Yeah,
me except those last 2.
Which was but he was one of the smartest people on the show, which I really, really loved. And it is, I think what's really interesting is that in our progressive society where everyone tries to be there's an area there that I don't think that our society is really acclimated to yet. I mean, now it's all like, well, people of color. Yeah, but what about people who are different sizes than we are?
What about somebody in a wheelchair?
Yeah, somebody in a wheelchair. I mean, people say it's ableist or whatever, and I mean, I don't have to tell you. So
right.
it was. I think that you should do those kinds of things. I mean, it. The real question is, I think Peter Dinklage has broken a glass ceiling in a way where he's right. Now, and he's got other roles that he's playing where, whether he's going to play, like, look, he was able to be a romantic lead in Game of Thrones when he was when he was in love with her. That was really interesting. Their developing relationship, and the way she betrayed him, that bitch deserved to die. But it was. I thought that was a really interesting way to go with that character, and you really wanted their relationship to endure, because he really loved her and she really loved him, and she spurned him in the worst possible way, but I think she still loved him anyway. She was just trying to survive in the way she knew how. But you should pursue that. I mean, dude, the entertainment business is terrible.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
terrible.
like I'm not in California, so but if I was, my
Yeah, but
foot would be
you're in Canada, and I mean, I
right.
think, look, they shoot Star Trek up in, so you never know. I mean, they shoot Star Trek in Toronto. There's so much work going on, and I think there's more and more opportunities. So you just never know. I think you definitely should pursue that. But what you have to do is, of course, do what everybody does. You've got to get headshots. You've got to get an agent. You've got to have.
I've done the headshots and stuff working on finding an agent.
Well, especially now because there's also more. I mean, I know you said you don't want to play an elf, but I mean, my God, there's so many fantasy shows that require all kinds of different people, not just as an elf, but
no, I meant like a Christmas elf.
Right? Yeah, of course. But I mean, look, if someone's going to hire you to play Samwise Gamgee, you're not going to say no.
No.
Yeah.
Or like Bad Santa 3, you know?
Right. Or yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want? I mean, come on. But yeah, it's a tough. It's the business sucks, but you know,
go ahead.
Sometimes, I mean, you do. Everybody needs a niche. Like, what is it you have? Well, you've got something unique that there's not a lot of in Hollywood, and there's more acceptance of that than there's ever been before. And with more fantasy, science fiction, and horror, a lot of genre shows, there's a lot more opportunities than ever before. And there's no reason you should ever feel constrained, because nowadays there's all kinds of things people are doing. So, you know, I would say turn it into a benefit and say, look, I'm going to bring you, my knowledge for this material is great. And I would say, go for it. You know, there's no reason anymore while anyone should feel hindered for any reason. I mean, my whole thing is, why not? And plus, bet that Canada is, I mean, obviously you have to go to Vancouver or Toronto, but still, you don't have to go. You don't have to live there entirely until you start getting more and more work, and it's not that hard to commute. If you had to, how far away from Toronto are you?
I'm Canada's Ottawa, so 2 hours from Montreal, 4 hours from Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, that's not that far, and there's production in both cities. So I would say, with the kind of things that are being made today, man, there's never been a better time for you to get into this business. And
now we live with the social medias. You got your YouTubes, Instagrams.
Yeah, man.
The actor doing Shang-Chi, I forget his name.
Simu Liu.
Right, from Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
Canadian boy.
I mean, who would have thought he would have been the person picked to star in the next Marvel franchise?
And you know what he did? He sent out a tweet. He knew when he found out Shang-Chi was getting into production. He's like, Marvel, let's talk. Like, he tweeted at them, and he got it.
The rest is history. Now you can get Shang-Chi action figures.
Right, and it's like Val Kilmer with when he did Jim Morrison. I don't know if you ever heard that story.
Yeah.
He camped out of the director's house for weeks because he wanted this role. Right?
Oliver Stone, yeah.
Yeah, Oliver Stone, right?
I mean, he was the great. He was so great as Jim Morrison.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I mean, yeah. And you got to sell yourself.
Yeah.
And I would say my dream, like, would to be, I don't know if you know the comic Alpha Flight.
Dude,
Marvel.
Puck? Come on.
Yeah, that's what I want to be.
I mean, you would be a great Puck.
I know.
And
Eugene.
Dude, I love, like, still to this day, one of the most shocking comic books I ever read was Alpha Flight 12. Of what happens in Alpha Flight 12. Burns' original run, when Guardian, Vindicator, dies.
Yes.
The explosion happens. I literally was like, oh my, it was one of those moments where I read comic books and I was shocked. Because I didn't see it coming. I loved Burns' issue 1 through 24 of Alpha Flight, the first volume of Alpha Flight. I fucking loved.
No, is it 1 to 38 issue? The first issues? Or sorry.
Yeah. But what in the reason I think of 1 through 24 is because the crazy cockamamie return of Guardian happens, or Vindicator, because he dies in 12, and then in 24 it's kind of brought full circle. I've got the omnibus right here. I love those comics, and Puck is a great character. Man, you should totally, and they're gonna do it at some point. They have to do fucking Alpha Flight.
So when I find out who's producing that, I'm camping outside their house. I'm gonna do pull-ups, sit-ups, and I'll be throwing pucks at their house and shit like that or whatever.
Plus, look, you know what? If you are Puck, you know what that means. I'm gonna get a hot toy figure of you.
That'd be awesome.
And S-Beam is back. S-Beam jumped back into the thing, so that's exciting. But listen, I'm going to switch you out. But this is amazing. Look, all I can say is that's something you could go after.
That's my project, and we'll talk about this more later.
Yeah,
and then I'll say one last thing. Reason being, my dad told me to get in theater. He went to high school with Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
And he moved on, and my dad wanted to get into television and broadcasting. He went to college. He dropped through, and his dreams kind of went in the shitter. So, and if he saw something in me, all right, just try and, live without a regret.
I wholeheartedly agree, but I love the idea of you playing Puck. Oh man, I fucking love Alpha Flight. That would be awesome. And you'd get that great costume with the P on it. They'd have to go classic, old school. Because I love North Star, and I love Alpha Flight.
I've got like maybe 1/3 of the costume, like cosplay costume, ready of Puck.
Oh man, that's what you gotta do is but you gotta make that thing aces.
Not like your 60-year-old grandmother made or 80-year-old grandmother.
No, that would be dope, dude. I'd love to see that. If you get that, send us pictures. I'll put it up here. I'll world premiere you as Puck.
Definitely, dude. And if I make Puck, and I'm on the strip, you'll be part of my entourage, Rob.
Dude, I will be part of your entourage. I'll bring feathers and fan you and.
No, I don't need that. I just want you to be with me. That's too much.
Oh, I'll be with you. I'll carry your weed. I'll have booze, whatever you need, man. I will be your total Hollywood entourage man.
Just drink and smoke with me. That's all you got to do.
I will drink and smoke with you, sir.
All right.
I can't wait. I'll open the doors and I'll get your ice. It'll be great. I'm in.
All right, brother.
This will be our mission. Make you Puck.
I'm down. I can't wait.
All right, man. Well, I will see you later. That's what a cool.
Peace and love.
Peace and love to you, sir. It's amazing what you find out on the Midnighter. I love that. You just never know what's going to happen. So let's see. I'll bring on, if anybody else wants to come on. I got S-Beam back. I'm going to put him in, coach. There's a room for one more, honey, as they said in the Twilight Zone episode 22. People are like, wait, what? Yeah, I know. You'd have to be a big Twilight Zone fan to know what I'm even talking about. But it is true. There is still a way. You can still get on if you want. If he has the time, Doctor. That's a great moment, Arena. Maybe because nobody has the link anymore, I will get it for you, and I will copy it and drop it in the chat. So, if anyone wants to do that. There it is. I can put you in, coach, but until then, I'll bring back in S-Beam, our friend S-Beam. Hang on. He's back in the middle. He's in the center square. Circle gets the square if you're a Hollywood. Oh, Cash is back too. Let's see if we can get Cash in here. Oh, Cash. Oh, Cash is outside. He's coming back in. We lost Cash before. I've got Cash back. I'm going to put Cash in again and add him in. Oh, and he's back. He's back. There we go. All right, gentlemen. We got S-Beam and Cash back. So, what shall we talk about? Like Tote and Raiders. What shall we talk about, eh? Back to the MCU.
Yes.
So, where do you think it's going to go? Like, we were just talking about where we thought it might wind up. Where do you think that if they do another Avengers movie, where is that going to happen? Where do you think they're going to take it?
All new, all Marvel.
But I mean, what's going to be the big storyline? Who's going to be the big bad?
Hmm.
It'll most likely be Kang, in my opinion. At least the first one. The next Avengers. Avengers
Yeah.
5.
I agree with that.
Well,
I mean, we've already seen.
Hopefully he gets a better run than Ultron, though.
yeah, I mean, I was a fan of. I think Age of Ultron has actually aged pretty well as a movie, and I it gets better for me because the more the Marvel universe expands. But I mean, I love Ultron. And one of my favorite things in anything ever is in Avengers 22, the Kurt Busiek and George Perez version, when Ultron's like murdering thousands of people, and the Avengers show up on his doorstep, and Ultron beats the shit out of him. And there's one panel where Thor is bloody and his costume is torn, and the rest of the Avengers are behind him, and he says, "Ultron, we would have words with thee." And I'm like, they got to put I was waiting for that moment in the movie. I'm like, there's got to be that. It wasn't in there. I'm like, how do you not put that moment in? That's like the most ultimate badass Avengers. It's like, General, would you care to step outside? In Superman 2, when Thor says, like, beat the shit, his costume is torn, he's bloody. Ultron, we would have words with thee. How can you not do that shit? I want to see that shit. But they didn't do it. They let my man Ultron down. What are you going to do?
Move on, persevere, I guess.
That's it. You just got to move on. No regrets. I agree. But, like, if you guys could see anything in a Marvel movie, what would be your dream? I guess, starting with you, Cash, what would be your dream thing that you'd want to see in the MCU, whether it's in a series or a movie? What's something you'd love to see?
That's a very wide option there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Spider-Man versus Punisher.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. I want Punisher in the MCU. All right, S-Beam. What about you?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the updated X-Men. Because I was a huge fan growing up.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, they were my favorite. They were the Star Trek of comic books for me. I loved X-Men, and I would love to see them brought in. I don't know how they're going to do it. Every time they make another movie, you're further away from getting the X-Men in. I mean, if Namor being the villain in because Namor's a mutant, so maybe you're going to find out the X-Men. But I don't know. I mean, I have no problem with no one knows mutants are there. They just haven't come out to the world yet. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But then again,
I think it's be like a different dimensional thing, like the multiverse. It's going to bring them in.
yeah, I don't know though. That would kind of bum me out.
It'd be disappointing, but that's probably how they're going to pull it off.
I guess partly we got to wait to see how they do Eternals as well. So
yeah, that's gonna be really interesting. I'm very curious.
See if that unfolds anything.
Yeah,
Not super stoked for that one.
I think it's gonna surprise people. I really do. I really believe that Eternals is gonna blow people away because it's not gonna be what they're expecting. I hope it is. But I want all the hot toys of those characters.
You want all like 20 of them?
Yeah, I want them all because I'm a Kirby fan and I'd love to get them in their costumes and everything.
Yeah, fair.
We'll see. Well, listen, I think, gentlemen, I have to host this thing tomorrow morning. I have to be up at 8:30 and to prep. So I think I'm going to bring an end to this episode of the Midnighter. I want to thank you both for being here, Cash and S Beam. Thanks for sticking out and being here. And
Can I show off one thing real quick?
Yeah, show off one thing. Oh, look at this. Is that Alphonse?
Right?
Are we talking to Full Metal Alchemist?
Full Metal
there?
Alchemist. Nice.
I got those last week. I pulled the trigger on my birthday for him.
Nice.
I'm super happy about it.
What scale are those?
1/6.
Oh my god, that is so cool.
And I also got this guy.
Oh, dude, you have the sideshow. Cyclops, man. I want that so bad.
Yeah, I got one of the last ones.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
Thanks, I know. Rub it in. Rub it in. Rub it in, son. No, those are great. That Cyclops is great. I wasn't going to get those until I started seeing Justin's reviews. I'm like, wow, those are good.
No, I was on a sideshow like the week before I was about to go out. I was like, said limited left. And I was like, gotta do it. Pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's a great figure. It's really, I do love the optic blast effect. That's really cool.
I was more impressed with the leather jacket, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, that's nice. I mean, I love that. That's the Jim Lee, classic Jim Lee Cyclops version, and I love it. It's great. Well, that's very cool. No, I love it. I love it. I'm jelly because I want that figure, and now it's on the secondary market and it's expensive, and who knows if I'll ever be able to get it. But then I'm gonna have to get all the sideshow X-Men.
That's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, and I want them. I want them all. All right, gentlemen.
So, Rob,
yes, sir.
If I may.
Yeah.
I'd like to show something too. If you'd like an update.
Oh, please.
Okay. I'm gonna switch my camera around quick.
Oh boy.
I don't know if you remember last time I gave you an update. It was this head sculpt here.
I know
shaven Rob.
It's me. That's amazing.
Short hair Rob. Bearded Rob.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's
Remember
amazing, dude.
Do like the Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Totally. That's amazing. Unbelievable.
Short-haired Rob. Oh, it's backwards. Hang on.
And I keep changing, you know. Oh, see, I love that. That is real. I love that. That's so cool.
You'll be able to pop it off.
Amazing.
We'll get
the long hair.
Long-haired Rob. Long-haired Rob.
I love it. And the thing is, I can change it out depending on where my hair. That's so amazing. It's so amazing.
So, yeah. So
I love it, man.
Update.
We got to sell those in the store. Make you some money.
I just gotta get them molded pretty soon. As soon as it cools down a little bit outside, I'll get them molded and then into plastic.
I love it.
And then painted. Let me see.
Oh my God, that's awesome too.
This is the one I've painted. I've had painted for a little while.
But I forgot that's really good.
I forgot to UV coat them, so yeah, there's the Campia. I got to rework a few things,
but that's pretty great. Wow, dude, this is great stuff. Wow.
Yeah, those are my YouTubers right now.
Really good likeness. That's really good. Well, gentlemen, that's very exciting. Wow. That's so cool. All right, men. I will talk to you, S-Beam, and Cash. I will talk with you later.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, it's good to see you both. Great to have you here. And thank you for being on the show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gentle beings, kind souls from the 28 known galaxies, this has been a fun Midnighter. Terje, our friend Terje, is all the way from Norway. Terje says, Dinklage Love. Check out the Amazon original movie I Care a Lot, where he plays a mobster. Great flick. Also, Rosamund Pike. Yeah, I Care a Lot is pretty diabolical. I love it. Harry Nice Guy asked, how long does it take to make those head sculptures? Well, hopefully, if S-Beam is still watching me say that, he can plug that into the live chat. But thank you for that. Very much appreciate that, Harry Nice Guy. I think tonight I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to bring an end to this. I want to say thanks to everyone who participated. I want to thank to my wrenches, the blue wrenches. The Richard and Dean Mikatich are here, which is always good, representing both sides of the pond. So thank you for doing the work that you did. I very much appreciate that. I want to thank everybody who supports the channel via tips and super chats. That's very nice as well. Thank you so much for that. And if you want to become a member of the channel, again, we're going to have another Zoom call. We have these bi-weekly Zoom calls where you get to see everyone's face, and they last, I mean, they always last. I'm like, oh, we're not going to go over 2 or 3 hours, but we're not this time. But all you need, it's $1 a month to support the channel. You can join in on the membership Zoom calls, which are awesome. And we are also going to be celebrating, literally this Saturday, June 12th, is the 40th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm going to have some special guests with me on the show to discuss the legacy of Indiana Jones. And if somebody would, I don't know, bother to send me my 4K discs that I've ordered, I mean, hello. Very frustrating. Don't have mine. But what can you do? And on that note, I will be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock on Midnight's Edge hosting the Stand and Deliver reunion. And then I will be back here for Robservations at 2:30. And so there you go. Thanks for being here for Midnighter number 13. Remember, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen. And with that, I would say to all of you, have a better night.